Greetings, bunnies. Gonna play a quick Domi match here and talk to you guys about some stuff. CCP Fox 4 recently dropped a new dev blog on faction warfare, which is a great read, by the way. He did some great work, but I've still got some issues with it, like the fact that he doesn't address whether or not he's going to whether or not he's going to implants are still affecting faction loss when in a match. So like if I'm running a Galente implant, which boosts my Galente LP when I'm fighting for him. Originally the design was, if you fight against them, it reduces the LP that you, or the loyalty you lose if you win, right? So you're fighting against the Galente using a Galente implant, and because you're Galente and fighting against Galente, they're gonna hate you less. It kind of didn't make sense. So, but that was completely left out, utterly not mentioned. Which is fine. I mean, they don't have to talk about everything in every dev blog. But, it's one of the major points that I thought should have been addressed. It actually looks like we might be in an empty match here. Yeah, it happens. But yeah, so there's that. And there's been a lot of people complaining about whether or not faction warfare matches should be LP only. Whether or not, people should be, it should be LP and ISK. To my response to that is, the market is coming. You'll be able to use your LP and ISK to buy kit that will sell for a heck of a lot more ISK on the market than the stuff you're using if you're not using LP kit to get it. Right? So, you'll do it, you'll be able to make money once the market's in, is the point. Beyond that, it's supposed to be a sync. You're not, the only people that are really going to make a ton of money off of factional warfare are people like me, who are gaming the system, right? I am currently using a suit that costs me nothing. Doesn't matter how many times I die, how many times you kill me, I never lose a cent, right? No ISK is lost by me at all. Like that death right there didn't cost me anything. I use a BPO suit. Now, if you look at the Eve system, right, a BPO is great because I can make an infinite number of things as long as I've got the materials and the time. So I do, right? I've got BPOs, I make stuff, I sell stuff, I use stuff, I lose stuff. But having the BPO only allows me to make an infinite number of things if I have an infinite amount of materials. I don't have an infinite amount of materials, so I'm limited. In Dust, it's not that doesn't work, which is why the BPOs are breaking the market, as it were, right? Because we don't have access to materials and an industry system to make our own kit, we're stuck using the blueprints as items instead of items as items, and the blueprints to make items. I think this is an oversight, personally. But I understand why they kind of went with this system in the first place. Because they didn't know, you don't know if the shooter people are going to want to, do industry stuff and stuff like that. Which is entirely valid. And, I mean, we don't even have a market yet. So we're talking about a lot of stuff that's kind of up in the air. Anyway. If they did go to a construction system, right? So, I've got a BPO for a Templar suit. That means I can make an infinite number of Templar suits as long as I've got the equipment, or the kit it needed to construct those suits, right? So I go into a match, Even if they make it so I go into a match, as long as I've got the stuff in my, in my cargo someplace, right? I don't have to pre-make them. I just have to have the stuff to make them. I can have an infinite number of suits, and it just takes all the crap out of my inventory someplace, right? That's fine. But right now we're using blueprints as equipment, and it shouldn't be that way. We should be using equipment as equipment and blueprints to build equipment. And it's partially the reason why the BPOs are breaking everything, because you can't have an infinite source in a game that loss means stuff, right? Right now, I don't lose anything, so I gain a lot of ISK comparatively to everybody else. If I did well, right? I'm a crappy player, so I don't gain as much as everybody else in a match. But if I was a better player, I'd earn more and thus get more. And so it's a fiddly little concept, and I'm getting shot by a sniper. But it's one that's kind of important. It's the backbone of EVE itself, right? We have war because we're us, but we have a thriving market because war eats the materials that we produce, right? And some guy goes out and mines forever and makes a lot of money selling his minerals to people who make stuff, who then turn around to sell it to people who kill each other, who then, turn around and buy more stuff, creating more demand for crap, creating more demand for materials, and so on. We don't have that in Dust. Right now we buy from NPCs, but we're buying blueprints, not actual suits. We buy, and those of us with BPOs are kind of skirting the system. Whether we bought the BPOs with Aurum, or we got it through in-game or in-game things, or we got them from the pack, or whatever. However we gained our BPOs, we have BPOs, right? And some people are up in arms because they're removing some of the BPOs for vehicles, because they're completely removing the modules that those BPOs make, which is entirely a valid reason to remove them, right? Why leave an asset in the game that it will no longer exist? So yeah, I see that. So yeah, but the big issue is not, it isn't that we don't get to make stuff. It's that, well, it kind of is, yeah. So yeah, it's just that aspect is messing up the whole thing. And I think once we get the market in place, which we are, it has been confirmed, not when, but that we will have a market in place soon. Maybe next month, maybe the month after, we don't know. It could be a little bit longer than that. Once we have that in place, we'll be better able to see that we need a manufacturing component. We need to be able to make our own stuff. Salvage shouldn't be, I get 6 sniper rifles. It should be, I get, X amount of nanites and X amount of whatever that allow me to build more suits or more guns or whatever I want. Whatever I have BPOs or BPCs to build stuff with. Right? Well, that's the match. I didn't do too well, but we won, so it doesn't really matter. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day. Bye.